I had about 12 hours straight of crying on Monday. I'm not kidding. From about around 3 a.m. to 3 p.m., I cried and released and released. And I'm not crying just because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm able to more and more identify these patterns that aren't me, and see what the truth is and move not in a way that fuels the pattern. So one of the patterns that I identified, I feel like sharing with you, is a pattern that knows how to make big things happen. Meaning, like, let me give you an example. It's very easy for me to align getting on and doing an awesome one-on-one, doing calls like this, knowing how to run a giant event, doing these things. But then there's these things that we call the little things, but as far as the universe is concerned, there is no bigger or littler, but like picking up things, just picking up toys off the ground or cleaning up, washing dishes. These things are also just as important as when I do a big one-on-one, when I'm doing an interview on a huge podcast, whatever else. But my mind has developed a pattern, and I know part of that pattern comes from my dad. I watched my dad develop corporation after corporation and create all kinds of different things, and I picked up that skill from him. But I noticed that there's a me that always goes to the big thing and is not very present for the little things. So on Monday, I woke up and noticed a huge release that was just forced on me. I didn't have a choice. I could see through the illusions that need a specific person to see me or need to be understood by something outside of me. And instead, I'm just very here. And at 3 a.m., I just started crying and crying and crying. And it's because I'm meditating and getting to a place that's so here that I'm able to see through the illusion that says, I got to get somewhere else. And that feeling is usually what makes you grab the phone. That's what makes you grab the addiction. That's what makes you want to talk to someone else about it. That's what makes you want to, go on to Netflix or whatever. And I could feel my body going, just don't. And it was like overriding itself. It goes, just don't. Just stay here. It's coming out. Just stay here. And so 3 a.m. I'm crying. 4 a.m. I'm crying. 5 a.m. I get to 8 a.m. and I start wanting to do the little patterns that I do. I want to go get a coffee. I want to, check certain stuff. I want to check stuff with work. I want to reach out to certain people. I want to, do these different things. And I hear my body go, no. The day before was Easter, and Vivi had opened all of the board games up and thrown everywhere. There was board game stuff all over. There were just cards all over the floor, and it goes, and it would be very like me to get someone else to clean it and instead work, right? And it goes, that's what I know how to do. And I heard my body override everything and goes, no, don't hire anyone to clean this. Don't ask someone else to clean it. Start picking it up. And I started just picking up each toy that Vivi had left on the ground, and I just felt my body start crying because the pattern that I have is the pattern that gets somewhere else and does the big thing. And this also is the big thing, but my body goes, no, it's not. Override all the things that are here, all the stop and smell the roses moments, so you can get to achieving all these other things that you perceive as what makes you great. And I would just sit there and pick up a toy and I would start crying. And then I would pick up another one and start crying, and I would get more and more present. And then I would feel this God moment where I was just like, this moment feels better than some achievement right now. I could hear silence really loud. And then I noticed the next thing I wanted to do was tell different people in my life about it. It was like, oh my God, I got to tell this person this thing. This is so unlike me. And then I was like, why? Oh, I want them to be proud of me. And then I was like, don't call them. Don't tell anyone. Just keep going. And I picked up another thing and didn't tell anyone about it. And I felt this agony in my stomach, which I know it doesn't make sense to some of you and does to some of you. It's like, there's a me that's just being alone, being with the thing. And I felt the pain in my stomach, and it's coming up, and it's more and more painful. And it just became bigger tears, and it would come up again, be bigger tears. And I was just like, I gotta tell people about this breakthrough. No, I don't. That's a pattern too. Stay in it. Pick up another thing. So I was just picking up shit all day. And I started watching as the patterns of get somewhere else were being shed. And it would be like this now thing. And I would just be in this now place, where it was just like, it's not even get optimistic. It's now. It's not even get, what could this mean? It's just here. And it's not like I'm getting in the present moment. It's like all the things that chase the present moment dissolve, and I'm just there with myself. And I just kept going. And I then later talked to other people, and they were like, I had the biggest breakthrough of my life, and I just released all this shit. And I'm just like thinking, as a collective, we're just dumping these old stories. We're dumping these patterns. We're dumping these things. And I was just here. And I noticed this part of me that was just here. And the here was loud. And it was amazing. And I was feeling better here than at the end of any giant achievement. And so that's what we're here to do. I really believe that's what I'm here to do. And it's up to you what you're here to do. But one thing that I just want to offer you is that you're full of patterns that in 2021, it seems inevitable that these patterns are coming out. And if you're doing this work with me, if you're here, if you're interested in meditating and these things, you're becoming the present space that these patterns are going to show up in different forms of agony and crying and suffering. And your job is to not feed the pattern, right? When the pattern goes, oh, I really need someone to see me, or I really need to get on Netflix, or I need to flip through Facebook for a long time. Your job is to get present and watch it. Just try to get somewhere else, and don't feed it. Don't feed it. Obviously, if someone is they're quitting drinking, and for a year they stop drinking, the voice that wants alcohol eventually is going to be quieter and quieter. But we're not just here to stop the habit, we're here to also release the thing that's under it that causes the habit. Like, you might be like, I have to make more money. Okay, I'm over that addiction on one level, but the other one is because money equals I'm worthy to my parents. I want to stop drinking. Oh, that's one level, but the deeper level is I feel connected to my dad when I drink. Do you get what I'm saying? Or my mom, or I feel like I can escape my family if I drink, right? These are the deeper truths that we're here to look at. And the reason some of the shit doesn't come out of your body right away is because it's attached to a deeper thing. It's not just going to give you the first level of whatever's here. It's going to take you deeper. It's going to get you to be very present. It's going to show you what's deep in there. And your job is to not feed it. Oh, I feel so lonely. Oh, you're right there. When it's going, I feel so lonely and unseen. You're right there. Oh, feel so annoyed that I feel shamed by other people. Oh, you're right there. Right? Do you feel that? Like, that's what's going on. I switched back to raw vegan a week ago, and no part of me is telling anyone how to eat, but I've lost 7 pounds and feel incredible. My body's just completely full of nutrients, and it's not trying to figure out how to process stuff, and I feel more clear and right here. And I'm here to create whatever I need to be on the highest frequency I can find, because the world is going up. Picture that the world is alive right now. Picture that the world is awakening. That you are going to notice what you're seeing happening in the world is that the truth is we as human beings are actually still governed by universal laws. This, as human beings, we're governed by naturistic laws. And what is falling apart are the egoic laws that we falsely created over it. The egoic laws that say money is the end all. The egoic laws that say you're nothing without a relationship. The egoic laws that say control and follow other authority. The egoic laws that say, you're here. If you look at trees, they tell you how we're supposed to live. They're like, no, all I do is I evolve. You'll notice trees don't shame other trees. You'll notice trees don't punish other trees. You get that? That they just evolve. Do you notice that nature leaves no waste at all? Did you notice that? Nature doesn't leave a ton of waste and throw garbage into the ocean. Nature, literally, animal crap becomes fertilizer. The stuff that falls off the trees becomes more trees, right? Right, Rena just nailed it, right? There's not trees that are better than other trees, and they're all unique looking, and they're all not all right angle perfect things like humans try to make them when they make these perfect bushes in the Stepford Wives neighborhoods, right? The universal laws are what are happening right now. And the way the government works, the way the news works, the way money works, these are not in alignment with the universal laws. And what's happening in this time is the universal laws are coming through. And I'm seeing it so many ways. I'm seeing every human being almost I'm coming across. There's a pattern coming to light. And that pattern was prevented by egoic laws. Do you get what I mean by this? There's laws that's like, oh, if I make enough money, then I don't have to feel this. That's an egoic law. If I control other people, then I don't have to feel this. If I can stop other people from having a bad opinion of me, then I don't have to feel this. Well, no matter what you try to do, those things are coming up now. And humanity is birthing just naturally its own way. And you don't need motivation to get through this. That's not necessarily a nature law. It's not moving from motivation. There's no tree driven to get bigger. It just naturally does, right? And I realized I have a pattern of connecting to people. I've told you about this before. I have a pattern of connecting to people in the past who feel cynical because my mom at times felt like, okay, we'll see if this becomes something. You know, and so I have this pattern of feeling actually at home with someone who doesn't quite believe in me in a certain way where I feel seen. And guess what that pattern does? It drives my motivation. So a lot of times the amazing positive things you've created egoically stem from the negative things in your life, right? And if you discover the pattern, like I have a pattern that goes, who is someone who's cynical of what I do? Who has kind of an energy that I can attach to and go, look how valid I am as a person, Mom, through that person, right? Then I bring in this motivated side that goes, I'm going to show Mom what I can do. So there's this ego drive that I have that's motivation, and that counters my please see me everybody pattern. But if I lose that pattern, I lose the motivation and I move naturally. I move actually with nature. You want to move in collaboration with the universe, not just egoically. Like imagine an acorn that's saying, I'm an acorn and I'm going to be the most motivated of the acorns. And it's like, do you know that if you just sit in dirt and we put water on you, you become a forest? Like, do you know that if you're patient and you move in alignment with nature, you become an entire forest? Like, you don't have to be the best of the acorns. And the most the acorn can see is becoming a billionaire acorn or having the acorn Porsche or whatever and getting, falling in love with another acorn. But they're both forests. They're both forests, right? And you are here to expand with the universe. In 2021, it's just inevitable because one of the things that's also happened in this time is humans are waking up on one level, but we're waking up fast enough that the entire earth is waking up and it's moving up and up and up, and the patterns that aren't moving with the laws of the universe are going down. Right? The patterns are. It doesn't necessarily mean people are going down, but they are if they're married to those patterns, right? So right now you'll notice that people are either more addicted or more free, more lost or more free, more stuck, more denial, more angry or more free. That's because their patterns come into the surface and they don't know about looking at it. Right? And Kathy says, can you be both? And if you ask that, then you just so you know, you're on the side of more free. You get what I'm saying? Because there's some people that don't want to feel any of this, and it's just like addiction immediately, run to this, run to this, run to this. And eventually, hopefully that can come up and clear for them. But the earth has birth too, and because the earth is moving up too, also, we're all moving to a fourth density energy, and you have to move with it. I don't know if this is making sense to you. See, if the earth didn't also birth, what would happen is we'd all stay in third density and just drive ourselves and kill each other until it's done. But what I'm seeing and feeling and what I'm experiencing through talking to other people constantly and really meditating on it is we've opened up enough that the overall collective is going to come up. Picture a car coming out of the water and a crane is pulling it out. The difference between the car staying in the water and just being there forever and the car being pulled out of the water and the water's just coming out of it. Some people can stay in the ocean and some are going to come out with the car. But we are moving up right now. We are moving out, and it won't look like up. It looks more like here. It looks more like I'm present. It looks more like I'm less needing to fix everything. I'm less worried about what everyone thinks of me. It's just like you are ascending. We are here to ascend as a humanity. And there are so many people I see where they're freaking out, and I'm like, oh, you're one of the free ones. You're freaking out because your pattern's coming to light. And the freak out is the pattern that you created on top of the pain to like achieve your way out of having to feel this thing. Well, guess what? It's coming. Just be with it. Be with it. Be present with it. Be with it. Let it come up, because you are the space that it's trying to come out of. Right? And if you allow yourself to not feed it, right? Don't feed the ego. Don't do something that the ego wants for a second to constantly keep it alive, because that thing's still gonna come up, right? The shit's coming up in your body. So if your ego is still doing the addiction, you're using that to bury this thing that's gonna come out no matter what. It'd be like if a mom was giving birth, right? And she's, even while giving birth, trying to avoid it, right? Like the baby's coming out no matter what. So you can choose to sit with a midwife or go to a hospital and be present and make this happen. That baby's coming out of you. I promise you. It's coming out of you. So you can addictive your way for a while, and then you'll be at war with that it's coming out of you, but it's coming out of you. And you can be in a war with it, you can fight it, you can do whatever you want to shove it back in, but it's still coming out, and it'll be way more painful. But if you are like, no, I'm birthing, and I'm birthing exponentially faster every single day right now, holy shit, freedom is happening for you. Just get more present, just get more here. Right? Don't, when you start to feel pain, you'll notice the pain's starting deeper and deeper. People, when I was working with them a year ago, they're feeling it in their chest. When I work with them more now, it's deeper. You'll notice that like there's gunk deep in the stomach that you're used to avoiding. And you'll notice that that's where the figure outer comes in, right? Like every time sometimes I'll work with someone, I'll be like, what do you feel? And they'll take me to a long story. I'm like, oh, I can see I hit it. I hit the thing, and you don't want me to go in there, right? So that's what's happening right now. I'm gonna go in there because you're gonna go in there, and it'll go and it'll feel terrible, and then it will just free itself. It'll become crying, it'll become releasing, and it'll become present moment, and you'll go, oh my God, everything I was holding on to didn't mean anything. Everything that I was holding on to inside of my body was nothing, and I associated death to losing that. I'm not saying the people are anything, I'm just saying the pattern you're holding on to. My how I look in front of people, how much money I have, my reputation, my story, all these things. The second they go, it's just bliss on the other side. And if you're really doing the work, you're gonna start to feel more and more bliss and less of those patterns. And if you start to be present, you'll notice all of our bowling balls are coming up. And some people are gonna addictive their way because they don't understand what's happening. So they're like moms giving birth to babies, but they're just running around avoiding it, and it'll still come out. But we can be conscious of it, and we can go, I choose this. And we can hire God to be our midwife and doula and assistant doula through this whole process. And just like imagine for a year, God's going in the universe, I see the head, it's happening, and you're just sitting there like, no, I should go on Facebook. No, you shouldn't. It's coming. No, I should get other people like me. I should achieve. I gotta get my word out. I gotta write my book. Shut up. The baby's coming out. I gotta get my voice out. We're done with get your voice out. You need to hear the higher truth. We can get our voice out, but hear your higher truth first. Hear. This is the new consciousness. It's not just everyone scream your egos until everyone's deaf. Hear on a higher level. Hear. And God's just like, I see the head. I see the head of your past story. I see the head of your pattern that thinks you're not enough because your dad was such a linear thinker. I see the part of you that's avoiding getting hit again. I see the head. It's coming out. And then one day you're going to cry and cry and cry, and you're going to be more present and free. Your body will have diarrhea for a while, and you're going to be just here. And you're going to go, well, now I just feel here. And throughout the week, on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm just sitting, and I'm just hearing, and I'm just present, and I'm laughing at the concepts that we have as human beings, and just like here. I started laughing at just the concepts that we have. That it's just like, what is a relationship? You know, they're great if you're in one, no offense. But it's like, I need to pick a random person to live with me. Just like, it's not anyone, just the right one that I've decided is now the one. That's attachment too, right? That person's the answer to me. No, I'm the answer to me. Make you the answer to you. The end. Do what you want after that, but make you the answer to you. And don't ever lose that. And when these patterns fall out, you will be right here. And you won't even be the story of Kyle or the story of your name. You won't be that anymore. Right? You won't be, I'm that person that is a victim. I'm that person that is an achiever. I'm that person that makes things happen. I'm a procrastinator. You're not that shit. You're me. You're now. You're every human being. You're your enemies. You're the fish in the sea. You're all that is. And the more you do this work, you'll notice the story of I is gone. And it's just now. And you'll notice you can see thoughts past the body. Like, I'm thinking over here. That's why you're here. And we didn't know this nearly as much 20 years ago, right? Because we're just a bunch of circumstances and we didn't wake ourselves up yet. 2020, we started our awakening. And because of that, the frequency of control doesn't work anymore. It doesn't. You might think it does, but it's only hitting whatever remains inside of you that is control. It's gone. I'm telling you, we are above it. The old world is collapsing. I promise. You will see it. And it'll get louder because the old world is like drowning. So every old pattern in every human being is going to be louder. They're going to have their last ditch effort of blame. It's your fault. It's that political side. It's the government. It's the whatever. It's because of anything but me. No, I see the head. I see the head. No, it's that person's fault. That person treated me like, I see the head. It's because freedom. Freedom. You're not going to be able to get away with it. You're free. It's coming. And if you choose to be present with it, if you choose to say yes to it, say yes to the highest you. Say yes to the now. Sometimes I'll work with someone, I'll be like, well, what do you want more? Is it that short-term relationship? Is it the money? Or do you want to know what you are? Like, remember, if you're on this call, you're probably here for a higher purpose than all the egoic things you're usually looking for. Like, you wouldn't be on this call if you didn't choose that. And when you get confused, it's because you forgot that's what you want. Right? You forgot it. Like, I know people who are like, I really want this, but also I really need that person to like me. I hear you. I hear you so much. But remember how much you want this. And part of our job is to release the need. And boy, are you more likable because you're not needing it, right? You accidentally are more likable because you're not needing it. Like, the things that you want to do and be, you still can do. But do it from you full, not you fixing. Do it from you full, not from fear. Nothing is as true